Dr. T.P. Sashikumar, sir.
Namaskaram.
I welcome you to the international conference, which is a multidisciplinary dialogue, and and it's a pleasure having you here. And it's my honor to read your profile before our participants before you take charge of the session. Now, Dr. T.P. Sashikumar is a man on a mission to redefine the learning pattern in today's generation. He took birth in Naduvi, Kannur, Kerala in 1964 and studied in a village school. But during his 8th standard, he was put into a special school in the nearby town and was thrown out of the school for being a bad student also. But he passed secondary education from the village school with a second class in his profile it is mentioned. But from there, he passed his pre-degree and he started valuing education from his degree time and later and had many feathers in his hat with the MSc, MPhil, PhD, LLB, MBA, MS and all. Thus, he himself is an example of how an average student could transform into a knowledgeable man with number of degrees. Dr. TPS's philosophy in life is flow like a river and grow like a tree. He enjoys the storm and fall in life. What we term as struggle, like a falling tree rising to the next day's sunrise, keep growing in your life. According to him, every moment is an opportunity and not missing those opportunities what gives success and creating a lot of such successes in life is the credit one must take into account. Dr. Sashi Kumar worked as a scientist in space department for 2 decades since 1989. He was director of UGC Academic Staff College at Calicut University in Kerala and went on to serve as a deputy director and directorate general of Security Cabinet Secretariat, New Delhi, before taking a voluntary retirement in 2009. If continued with government, he would have reached higher positions, but he opted against it as he always had an inner passion to teach and to show direction to the otherwise youth of today's generation. He also had short tenures as professor of management with JNTU Hyderabad as an executive director in the engineering college under Kannur University and as a CSR educational consultant with Shobha Developers. Dr. Sashikumar also conducts teacher training sessions as he believes that teachers are the ones who make tomorrow's citizens. He teaches them what is students. Dr. P.P. Sashikumar is always available for students for any questions. He has over 60 blogs for the benefit of those who want to learn, acquire knowledge. His passion for life, that is learning and investment for future learning and live or learn in full enjoyment, has made him to author books like Life Made Simple, Life of Love, Life is to Live, Life Reflections, etc. His books are so close to heart that those who read them will find solutions for all problems. These are highly motivational and grievance redressing tips. Parents and teachers do approach Dr. TPS for their individual, family, professional, and social solutions. He is a true life coach to raise students with high aspirations and direct towards knowledge. A few books from him in this direction are Makers of India and Civil Service Prelims Handbook. Dr. TPS conducts live conferencing camps at his 200-year-old home, Janam, in Naduvil, Kannur, Kerala, Gyanam in Naduvil, Kannur, Kerala, and builds values among the youth by leading it as an example. Past 3 years, more than 20 camps were attended by around 600 youth from various parts of the world, many from Gulf and West. From PG to KG, working professionals and people from all walks of life with an open mind to learn and to attend. All these camps have very informal setting with emphasis on learning and sharing. Dr. TPS's message for today's generation: dreams must keep on changing as dream is created from the knowledge that one attains and world is he is exposed to. In his own words, in my early age, I created small dreams to be a teacher to a rich man. Then during my PhD, I wanted to be a good researcher and professor of mathematics. While in job as scientist, I wanted to head a unit of ISRO to make it as a model research institute. Now, the dream is to create good administrators for India. That is why I am with a lot of bright students making the civil service aspirants. 2018-19, Dr. TPS is in Columbus and Indiana as residential guru for the Sri Ganesh Mandir under Hindu Society, Southern Indiana, active with many spiritual sessions. 2020, he worked as a virtual online mathematics professor with Cave University. And recently, he has been appointed as a professor of practice at ICFAI also. And currently, he's the acting as the chancellor of National Education Forum, Kolkata. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us. You are such a dynamic personality, and I'm sure our participants and all of us will learn a lot from you. Now, I would like to take charge of the session and enlighten us with your golden words.
Thank you, Industry. Thank you so much. I guess you noted that I was with the KLH, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was with the
When I read about
mathematics
file.
department for some time, and I was teaching BBA, MBA, and BTech for some time during the COVID time. I visited the
Oh, so
campus.
Vijayawada or Hyderabad?
No, Hyderabad. I visited your Aziz Nagar campus only
Oh,
once.
Hyderabad.
And I was
Okay,
part
okay.
of the academic staff college activities of KLU at Vijayawada online.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
your earlier vice chancellor was a good friend of mine who um, lost
Okay.
us. We lost him during the COVID time, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is how I happened to be in the campus for some time.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
We are
good.
so
And
happy. It is
and,
an honor
and,
to have you,
and I
sir.
guess you have not removed my name from the KLH website. Just now I was testing, and I am part of your faculty even now,
Oh, okay.
the mathematics department. I had sent some mails
Yeah.
for updating it and removing me, but it did not happen. It's anyway, doesn't matter. I'm good.
Or maybe they want to keep you forever.
I'm ever ready. I'm in Hyderabad.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and my
Thank you so much.
friend made me to join here with lot of enthusiasm, asking me that you have to be. I didn't tell her that I was part of. Probably she also must not have noticed that I am part of KLH, right? So I must thank Shailaja Vasudev for connecting me to KLH at this point of time.
Yes.
And the topic is very close to my heart because today morning only I uploaded almost a same topic on discussions day for yesterday in Kolkata. That was physically I was there with the Institute of Packaging. Institute of Packaging is one national institute where they teach how a packet can be um, so good to see, and also it has its quality for any of the food items which we pack. It involves a lot of chemistry, environment science, mechanical engineering, perturbations, disturbances, so many things. It's a huge science by itself. And I was talking to them how important is design thinking, because you like to see the design of the item which you buy in a beautiful bottle, beautiful package. You also wanted to display it nicely in a place where they want to market it well. So it's all design thinking. I wish and guess my PowerPoint is visible for you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So the design thinking, when I talk, it's a multidisciplinary, totally multidisciplinary, and it is very essential for people who want to be highly creative. You have to be creative, innovative, communicative, and then you can be a good designer. Design is to design the design of a design. A small change can make a lot of difference. In that talk also I made this quote, and that is why I made this as a subtopic for that. A small change can make a big change in life, a big change. We always learn in the management principle that Henry Ford is the man who made technology management in the world. And this is a quote from him. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have asked for a faster horse, because they can imagine no way of imagining that there is a vehicle concept which can run on the road with a motor and engine and all that, because that time it's only the horse which were used for. And today we are living in the Tesla world where everything is run by just by computers, just by image processing. Image processing is my subject. I'm basically an image processing man. From space department, what I did is only image processing, satellite image processing and videos and what you see in the Google map, and all that was my job. So you can see the how best models are in the world today, which you can just sleep in your car and then you will be taken from wherever you want to wherever you want. Design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. I'm showing you more things probably to come and say how I do my designing in my activities, what I do in my home. Right, the Steel Jobs designer is a great new world he opened up for different people. I believe everybody has got opportunities, but you don't know how to cash it. Cash, KASH, cash. The knowledge on business. Every knowledge which you have to make it applicable in the world, then you know how to market yourself. You know, in management, there are 5 M's: marketing, mission, material, manpower, and money. So, unless you know how to do it into a business, and for which what you require is attitude. You don't have attitude, probably if you have knowledge it doesn't come out. And any knowledge you don't make it into practice, you don't make it into skill, it just becomes copying and cutting and pasting and talking. You can also send it as a paper, you don't have to be present there. A skill is when you make it practical. That is how a normal teacher becomes an acharya. यद्यदा जनति श्रेष्ठ तत्तदेवेतरोचन सयत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. Seeing him, people should see, oh, I want to be like him. He is a practical man who has done what he says. That means he has used it. Yes, every day it is in his activity. And then that becomes a habit. That means you must have good place where you can make it active. People will come to you. You can social network with him. You can talk to him. You can create change. You can experience. You can make it like a performance. So this is my formula. You can Google DrTPS. Performance is equal to attitude plus skill plus opportunity. If all these things match together, I'm sure you can be a good performer. Every teacher has an opportunity to be a good performer in his class. A researcher has its, there is nothing different from teaching, learning, and research. Because in our Bharatiya Shastra, we have got a Brahma who is a creator or creativity, the god of creativity, the Bhagavan of creativity, and then same Bhagavan has his wife as Saraswati. That is the communication ability. So if you do research, you can get into education, you can communicate well. If you just become a copy and cut and copy and paste, I'm sure people will realize it. You are not creating energy, you're not creating job, you're not creating enthusiasm, you're not creating any knowledge by yourself. That doesn't go for long. So any performance should have a opportunity plus skill plus attitude together. So go beyond your syllabus. Have a great vision. That is what is your research is mission, and you should have an action. And once you have it, I'm sure the way what you do in this world will become so quite good, and you can do wonders beyond the classroom. That's more essential. Go beyond the medium. You can have your own style, your own way of thinking, and that makes you a design thinker with a creativity, innovation. The part of making it as a daily practice, you can have role models, you can have experiments, can have simulations, brainstorming sessions, business plan, anything what you think which makes people to actively participate in your performances. That means if it can be a class, it can be a performance of your class. That is most essential. That has to come as a daily practice. That is what it means. So you can be a part of the organization like a job, and you create your own style. It becomes an entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship doesn't mean that you do business and make money. It means you make something new by yourself which you can show to others as an example. But that is not good enough. Then you share it with the people so that many people will do that. That is the fourth, this quadrant what you see. And you can take it and then do that and then start make it as a business if you want to make it into a real business by financing and getting money, and then debenture, share, whatever you want to get that. So you can see this is what happened in any of the seven wonders of the world, what we see, or whatever wonders you have seen in India. All of them had this in mind. There was a design, then there was an action, there was a people who are coming, and today it becomes a business because Taj Mahal attracts a lot of people from quite the different part of the world. And we have lot of such things available in India. A small temple also can be a design which is exclusively entirely different from what others have done. That means some king has thought about making it entirely different. Why not? I was there in Bloomington IUB for some time. You can see my IUB Bloomington 191006. This number shows my video name. So 2019 I was there, so you can look at what how design has made the design of the building itself entirely different. So one of the most attractive building I have seen in my life is the IUB Bloomington building, in which you have got a shoemaker's shop where you can have creativity, show and write, and then make it. That is what a university has to do: make your students so design oriented, make your genuine ideas to put into place so that people can look at it creatively. There is a video there, I am not playing it for want of time. And you just go very close to that, you have got a St. Louis place where you see beautifully um, I think it's trying to
Okay.
display
Okay.
it.
Okay. H1B cycle.
Yeah, let's wait for some time. And then you have I have seen there, as you step inside, the whole building will start have got a lot of hangings on the top. It starts creating sounds. That means you cannot get out of the place by making sound. If you start making sound, immediately what happens is the building also will start making you sound, so that you keep quiet. And such a great design, why just making it a slowly a difference which you can make in your design will make you to understand the way in which you have to behave inside the building. That's a creativity that is being used there, right? So I think there is some problem on my because I had a video there which I don't want to play. It was showing that. Let me just go out and then come back with the display, so that probably the PowerPoint will not stop me. So you can have a activity which you think you wanted to make it happen in the way you wanted to see that with the whole performance, in the way in which you want the message to be given to the people who are coming and investing the time in your building. What a great design is that! When somebody is making a small noise in your department, what is hanging from the roof will tell you keep quiet. That's what the design is. That is the design thinking methodology which they have used. Similarly, there is a place in that office where you can immediately go and tell, if you want a idea to be projected and some people wanted to debate, you have got a hall in which there is a board in which you write down and people start reacting. So this is what an idea. Probably you have an idea which you don't know how to make it happen. You will have to discuss with somebody who can make it to happen, and then it is a collective collaborative networking process to be done. I'm sure St. Louis arch is not made by one engineer, it's a group of engineers. And that will happen only when you communicate to them and tell them that this is what I want to know. I guess my PPT is up. It's visible. Somebody can react. I've shared it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It is visible.
yeah. This is one poetry from my book, which is called Life of Love. Life of Love. This is the book which it's available on internet, in which says every one of us are really great. Millions of sperm from the father get into the mother's egg, and only one sperm take birth, and that's me. We must feel proud that we have a birth, where millions of my unborn brothers could not take birth in this world. I remember sharing this book with my one of my friend who happened to be Amir Khan's professor at the Film Institute, and this poetry has taken as a seed for the great movie called Three Idiots. So what I'm saying is, you document it, keep it, share it. I'm sure somebody will see the essence in that and take that as the something which they can implement in their world around. So this is what is to be done: document it, create it well. So all my books, what I do is shared on my website. This is my website, DrTPS Shiksha. And what happens when you implement it at the grassroots level? I worked with the people in the small village where what they learned is being used as something which they can earn per day. Make your parents and students, you have got a great community. I believe you have got 3,000 students. That means you have got 6,000 parents under your control, and that 6,000 parents, you have an MBA department, and you are not making it to happen your business ideas with 6,000 people under your control. What are you doing? A department has to do research, not just for namesake and publishing paper and patents. You have to see that your community under your control, community your control is 3,000 students, brings 6,000 employees, I mean people around you. Maybe half of them are employed, it doesn't matter, still you have 3,000 people, maybe homemakers wasting their time. Take them into your fold and tell them how to make a business. Then you are running a management department. I do this. I go to different places, I find my students, get to their houses, identify what they can do, take them to the picnic, make them to learn and understand the world around, which I did in 2010. You can see the lower bottom, 2010 to 2019. My students have reached out to the world in different places. That's what mentoring is. Mentoring is not a lecture to be given, it's what is to be practiced on the ground. You can see my camp in Columbus, Indiana, where I play with children with the craft. There are three H in the world which has to be used for becoming innovative. One is hand, and second one is your head. That means you should have knowledge, and the third one is you should have heart. Heart is with the feeling and passion. You should do this. This is my house in which I have got the tiled roof. When the coconut falls on the roof, definitely the tile will break. So what I did is, I've made my original traditional knowledge which I have got with my little bit of physics what I have learned in my childhood, to be used in solving this problem of falling the coconut onto my roof and breaking my um, tiles. So what generally people do is they tie it and then you can pull them. I used the pulley system, and using the pulley system I could pull it easily by myself, because every coconut tree can be tilted as I want. I can break it. So this is me who climbing on the tree and doing myself to make a chain and pulley business. As we see, we can sit here and then pull myself, and I can lift myself up onto the height whatever I want. This is where I have used the waste plastic bottles for making a compound wall. So you can make yourself into actions. When you do small things, I am probably you can do large projects and then become a consultant. This is where I am giving suggestions to somebody who is constructing a series of buildings inside a sea in Fiji. Fiji, they have got license to construct something temporarily inside the sea, because sea is very shallow there. You will see beautiful sea there. So what data which you have, when you analyze, you becomes informations you learn, that becomes knowledge. When you practice it, it becomes skill. When add ethics and morality, it becomes wisdom, and use it in the society, it becomes experience. So what is most essential is, you may have lot of data, but you don't convert them to information, knowledge, skill, wisdom and experience. That is what a practice of the professor of practices. That's what ICFI identified me and offered me as a professor of practices designation, where you make things happen onto the ground. This is what Swami Vivekananda said. What is knowledge? Knowledge is man making. That means you should make it your experience contextually. You have to use it for the practices. One movie can be made for 100 crores, but it will stay only in the screen for some time. But I have got a friend of mine who was a movie maker, later turned into a great sculpture person who has got 200 feet by 150 by 70 feet large Jadayu, which is the part of the Ramayana story. He made it into the great auditorium. It's not just a model to be shown, but inside that you can see the entry here that can be used as an auditorium. So inside this there are lecture halls, auditorium, and all that. This is a design which will stay with a large message which can be depicted from our mythology for long years. You can be creative not with the spending 200 crores. You can be creative from you in the kitchen. You can be creative in your gardens. You can be creative in your the small models which you make, the morning, afternoon, evening party which you wanted to make, and say a timetable to your children. You can do that. These are all beautiful tools displayed, but it was in London when I was traveling in a street, and you will see them. It's not tools or the hardware shop, it's a sweet shop, but the shapes are on this, and it's all eatable chocolates. Yeah. See, you can have, I'm a mathematician basically. My PhD is in mathematics. So I keep saying a dancer's different posture I can convert into equations and then do a designing. So I can do graphics, and that is how I convert the dance into a animation or simulation. So you can have a design thinking with a lot of ideas involving different people and make it happen. And that should happen in the university boards. So you should have a place where people can show their entrepreneurship, teach students to understand what is entrepreneurship, how you can make that to happen. You have to have a launchex meeting sort of a thing where you can make it happen. You can be highly poetical, you can be highly innovative, make things happen. There is nothing called I will try, I will just do it and fail sometime. So Udyamam, Sahasam. We have an idea, don't keep it there, immediately jump into action. That's called a Sahasam. Udyamam, Sahasam, Dhairyam, Buddhi, Shakti, Parakramam, Shadede, Yatra Vartante, Devam Tatra Prakashyat. Wherever these ideas can be implemented, I'm sure there will be a force available under your control, under your contacts, where they will make it happen for you. So you should jump into action. That's more important. It's not thinking alone, it's action more important, right? So design thinking have got different parts which becomes innovation, it becomes technology, involve with the people, and get into business. And that innovation is the core of everything else. I'm sure these slides are available because I just copied from internet. So what is design thinking? It's an inspiration and make it into ideation and action. You have to invest, you have to make it into practice, you have to make it into business, and then iterate it to make it better and better after a lot of testing. So this is how a inspiration get into ideas and get tested and make it happen. So keep asking who is going to use it, what is the purpose, where is it to be used, how, where, when, why, what, wwwh. That makes things happen. I'm sure you have got a lot of social media activities in which you can spread yourself, get into that, type DrTPS and look at it. You can see what all I am doing. You don't have to tell what you are doing to somebody. If people are interested, they will come and contact. And that is what is essential. The design thinking is creativity, but networking has to be done. I'm sure tomorrow an advertisement will come that I am looking for computer engineers who can solve difficult problems and give the equations. And ultimately, if you solve all these equations, you will have to give your number to the number. The number is not given directly, but you will have to compute to them from the equations given bottom. Right? When you compute all that, you will get a number, and that number is what is to be done. So giving a simple example of what is design thinking, I have got a bottle to be hold. I can have a design like this where my finger will go and then it will not fall. But this is a bad design because I can only hold it in left hand or right hand. The design has to change. That is why sometimes it doesn't happen. I have a cup in which the cup has to have a coffee and plus probably a biscuit to be put. I can put it inside so that I can take and eat. You will see this design have got a lot of flops only when you put into practice. Okay, so look at this option, what you have, is it working or not? So how do you make sure that these ideas are wonderful? Because I need a cup of tea and a biscuit parallelly. Is it really good? Look at it. Can I have a library like this where I can sit and then roll the books and I can pick it up? Look at it. What is good and what is bad? These are all design thinking. I keep giving an example that the best example which I have seen in this world is the floppy. The floppy has got actually everything is a magnetic tape which require a round only to store the data, but I'm not using a square. And the square, because why I'm not using a square, because floppy can be inserted 8 ways and only one way it will work because you have a reader there. That means you can make 7 mistakes out of 8 possible insertion of the floppy. The original floppy is the bigger one which you are seeing here. It is 9 quarter inch, and that 9 quarter inch or the 3.5 inch floppy, which was the original one. You can Google. The new generation would not have seen floppies, but I have worked with them when I started working with the computers in 1984. So definitely people have not seen this in today's world. So I am saying only the design part of it. I can insert it like this, like this, like this, like this if it is a square. But if I elongate it and make it a rectangle, I'm sure you cannot do it because I will avoid 4 mistakes. That means 4 mistakes I've cut just by elongating it. They did not stop there. You can see the end of here, the floppy, you have got a small cut. If I cut this, what will happen is I can insert only one way. That means all mistakes can be avoided simply. I was just telling you that the design of the floppy, I'll show you that using this. I've got a square here, and the square can be encompassed into a circle just like this, because what I can do is this square I can just tilt like this and make a circle. So you can look at it. A circle to a square is a real mathematical change. It is a very simple change because I can just encompass a circle into a square and a square into a circle. So that is what the basic mathematics principle I have. Now we have got doors in which you have got handle vertical and horizontal. What is the difference? Yeah, I'm a person who learned the traditional Indian Vastu system, in which the every bit of your house designing has to be done very, very well, so that you will never make mistakes. I'm sure a door has to be pulled instead of a push, and your head goes and hits on the glass door. Definitely, you look around and then see whether somebody has seen it or not, because we are all conscious about the environment in which you are living. So how do you get rid of these small mistakes? The small mistakes are not done when your handle has a tendency. When it is vertical, you have to pull it. When it is horizontal, it is to push. This is the normal tendency people have. So the normal tendency is what is used for designing the door handle. I'm sure you will never make mistakes. And I'll tell you, I am drawing 3 circles, and drawing the circle will show you a hidden triangle inside that, if the other triangle need not be drawn. That means whatever I am talking to you may not be a great idea for you, because I am only giving you the circle with a small gap in between. It is you to identify what is innovation, what is creativity, where you have to make it happen in your time. Or don't think that every time your success becomes a success. Success can be a failure can be a success. If somebody wanted to commit suicide and he fails, it becomes a great success in his life sometime. You are born to succeed, and I'm sure you should make it happen. Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule Sthida Gauri, Prabhate Karadarshanam. Is Karagre vasate Lakshmi. The money is in your hand, knowledge is in my hand, my energy is in my hand. The whole traditional sloka says that everything is in your hand, you can make it happen, you can also send it across. This says that nobody has made the lion as the king of the forest. It is only I declared myself as the king of the forest. Na bisheko, na samskaraho, simhasya kriyatevane, vikramarjita satvasya. I declared myself, swayameva mrugendraja. I decided I am the king of the forest. It is you who have to make things happen in your world. Only when you become focused, Bhagavad Gita says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana pariupasade tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogatshemam mahamiham. Unless you focus and think very curatively, very collectively, very focused, with the densified thoughts, without any other thoughts around you, you cannot get into the world. But you have to look around when you need solutions. People say that the coconut oil, coconut usage can create you a lot of cholesterol and all that. The solution of the cholesterol is given in the coconut shell itself. So that's a solution. So most of the problems what is in the nature, the solution are very close by that. Unless you can see that, you cannot do things. So design can be done very creatively, very wonderfully, and success people don't reach their goals alone. You need some company. That's why I insisted for the collaboration, communication, and all that. Amandram nasti, nasti moolam ayogya purusho nasti, yojagaha tatra durlabaha. This is my book on life made simple. It's also available. The last mantra in that is amandram nasti, nasti moolam ayogya purusho nasti, yojagaha tatra durlabaha. There is no one in this world who is useless. It is only how well you make them use makes you to be wonderful leader. So you have to be a leader by yourself to be very creative, and that you can get it. Amandram aksharan nasti. There is no letter which is good or bad. It is where, when, why, how, in what context you use it makes your letter good. No plants or no trees or no leaves or no stems are useless, but you must be a vaidya to use it in the practice. I am a traditional vaidya from an Ayurvedic family. Ayogya purusho nastihi. There is no single individual who is useless, but you must use them in the right place so that he becomes useful. This is what I want to tell you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Maybe the world around becomes so good only when people join together to make things the world great. So thank you so much. Brings you to the end of my discussion for the day. Thank you. Good enough?
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Honestly, genuinely, I'm falling short of words. I don't know how to thank you. Thank you for sharing your immense knowledge and like so many things, sir. You are doing. You are an inspiration. We take classes and do little bit of research, and we complain that, oh my God, so many things we had these many classes and all. And you, and looking at you, you are doing so many things for the society, and your outlook, sir, the insights you are sharing and your outlook towards like the future generation and the planning and all these things which you are doing. It's really immensely we have to give you all the credits for that. I how to thank you. Thank you for sharing your immense knowledge. You discussed about how skill is important more than just bookish knowledge and all. How practical knowledge is important, and how parent, teacher, and all of us, the parents, teachers, and students, the stakeholders, how they can work together. And as you said, and as a
Tanushree,
society
my
also.
name happened to be Dr. T.P. Shashikumar, but I used Dr. T.P.S.
Okay,
Teachers,
sir.
parents,
Yeah.
students. So my abbreviation
Oh,
itself is
oh,
teachers, parents, students,
that is
right?
okay, sir. Yeah. Yes, yes, Dr. TPS. It was a really an enlightening session, uh, and you are an X scale, so that is there's something special there also. And it's really we are feeling grateful to you for joining us here, and I'm sure our participants gathered so much of information from you, and we are going to stay connected. As soon as this gets over, we are going to network with you, and we are going to do something. We are planning to do something with you. Already, our head is interested, and we told her about you, and she also knows you. So, let's stay in touch, sir, and we would like to have you in our conferences, workshops, and many more events again and again. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Inshallah,
Thank
we'll
you,
see
sir.
you later.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Pranams.
you.